Author's point of view. It seems he emphasized the unfinished statement of Jake's with a flat questioning tone, and his reply disturbed him mentally. She appears to be lying, and I suspect she's not blind either. Displeasure flushed his face. Hands swiftly clutched the band of decorative fabric worn under his collar before he ripped it off. He wasn't pleased with Jake's theory. If it had not been Jake to say so, he would have made sure to slit apart the mouth from which those words dared to flow. Why? Even he wasn't sure. There was a high probability of Jake being correct at this point, but somehow he wasn't willing to accept. A few dull seconds of silence capped in the air. His mind and heart fought a decisive battle. As always, it was his mind that had a upper hand. You know what you have to do. He asserted, facing Jake. His eyes seemed to ping Jake with a newfound intensity. All right, boss. Bored and vacated the space at the very moment. Jungkook was settled at the dining table, waiting for breakfast. It was already past 8, but before the clock could hit a minute more, the breakfast was set at the table. Where is wine? Unable to locate you, he inquired the mid-aged woman standing to his right. There she is. The lady pointed at you. You were walking like a timid lost kitten because you were blind and this place was new to you. Every inch of the place was to be taken into account before you could walk freely. Settle down. He instructed you with a hostile glare, and you obediently seated at the first chair you could track down. The middle-aged woman served you 2 pancakes, prepared by you, and you felt a combination of anxiety, dread, and excitement all at once. Not caused with the thought of him tasting the food cooked by you, rather of him not liking the taste and lashing the food at your face, same as Miss Bianca did to you in the past. Your lungs were engulfed with peppery fragrance. Delicious flavoring teased your nostrils, and you grew restless to stuff your mouth with the pancakes. Pancakes had been your favorite since childhood. It was the reason Miss Bianca never let you have some. Can we begin? Your hesitant voice pulled his attention from you to his plate. Pancakes. A hot knife dug into his heart. Thick syrup of his childhood memories poured through his veins, and they began to throb under his almond skin. This distinct sensation of blood flooding his cheeks and weighting his shoulders reminded him of the time when his mother made these pancakes for him. They were his favorite. His breath turned shallow and irregular, recalling the last day he saw his mother, before she was shot dead, right in front of his eyes. The blood-stained palm when he felt her for the last time. He was petrified. Fear made him feel like running as hard as he can until he was out of breath, then dunking his head under water until he was about to drown. Throw it off. When he spoke, it sounded like his voice was made of gravel. His clear tone was undercut with a choking heaviness that forced him to pause several times. His watery eyes closed and shot open again. Boss? The lady frowned confused, doubting her hearing ability. I said, throw this away. He made sure to emphasize every single word. His hand veins became visibly bigger and seemed to swell out near the skin surface before his gaze bored through you like a drill. Even though you had no light in your pretty eyes, still you could feel his sharp stare at your petite figure. The very next second, your wrist was taken in a warm, firm grasp. Tugged off from the chair with a jolt, you stumbled and bumped into his rock-hard chest, and the sudden jerk on your forehead squeezed it in pain. A little whimper escaped your lip, which quickly turned into a yelp when he dragged you along with himself. Engulfed with patchouli and sandalwood mixed with sweet notes, you realized he had brought you to his bedroom. The off-white wooden door slammed shut. A sudden increase of sting in your ear made you feel as if your eardrums could burst at any moment. In response, you covered your ears with those pale, soft hands of yours. A few seconds of silence felt like hours. Thousands of thoughts climbed your shoulders and screamed in you. He will punish me. Fear jammed your brain, including your tongue. Caution stuck at the edge of the pink tissue inside your mouth. Lighter's flick created a controlled flame and ignited a flammable item stuck between his veiny index and middle finger. Inhaling and exhaling the fumes of burning cigarette, he glanced at your tiny figure, covered ears, and trembling body. He took another puff to reduce both his emotional feelings and psychological arousal to harm you. It was difficult to get rid of it. Jake's theory of you not being blind corrupted his notions with doubt, and the breakfast added fuel to the fire. Come forward. Straight to the point, his gravely voice was low and rough. Unfortunately, the passage of your ears was securely under your milky palms. There wasn't enough space for the words to enter you. The lack of acknowledgement of his command heightened his worth. He tossed off the cigarette before power walking towards you. In a span of a nanosecond, your wrists were under his hold. He had impossibly enormous hands, and his over-enthusiastic grip could break your wrist in two if he held you for long. At the other end, true terror and intense fear completely overwhelmed you. A feeling like you are going to faint or have a heart attack out of fear was constant. It made you lose all rational thought, unable to escape or fight back. In this state, you were completely at his mercy. How much do you know about my past? Who exactly are you? His autumn voice was loud and clear, and you could not stop crying. Your body trembled as tears of sorrow fell from your eyes like a river, but his dead eyes were emotionless. He wasn't affected by an inch. The expressions his eyes consumed were of an evil that betrayed all innocence. Clueless of what he meant, you had nothing to answer. I. Words broke up, and all you could utter were stuttering sounds. Hot tears continued to stream down your face, and you squeezed your eyelids shut in the hope that the tears would stop, and stood there tolerating the pain he inflicted on you and your delicate wrist. Annoyed of you not coming clear, he released your wrist. His beastly hands grabbed a handful of your shiny hair, which had a smooth texture and clear-cut ends. A sharp penetrating cry escaped your quivering lips, and you immediately held his shirt in your tiny fists unknowingly. Come clear. Why you prepared the meal which has been forbidden for long. With every word, his hibiscus woody smell brushed your nose. Both of your face were an inch away. He too was inhaling your fruity breath while observing your face. Your face was all red and scrunched up from crying. Moist eyelashes were mushed together. Chin wobbled like that of a toddler crying, and your body could not handle his intimidating closeness. Any moment he would retrieve his hand from you, you would tumble down on the floor. But analyzing your face had just made him reluctant to let go of you any sooner. Your natural red plump lips were rosier due to immense crying. His mind wavered off the topic and could only fantasize about how your baby lips will feel against his. No minutes were spared before his other hand grabbed your waist and pulled you closer to himself. Your young perky bosom came crushing into his chiseled chest. He could feel your tiny body against his. Once again, he tightened his hold on your sinfully narrow waist, and a whimper escaped your puffy lips. Definitely, it was a whimper, yet it felt no less than a moan of pleasure to him. Clueless of his intentions towards you, you stood motionless, in the hope of him setting you free. But when your hairs were pulled further, giving him full access of your dilated neck, you could not help but wail in discomfort. In a blink of an eye, his scalpy lips bruised your thin skin of neck, and the force of his kiss on your delicate skin almost choked you in torment. You wiggled restlessly in his hold while shedding tears, but you were so fragile against his beastly self. There was nothing you could do to stop him. With every jiggle, his hold on you turned merciless. Burning sensations tortured your already bruised skin. I didn't know about the forbidden things. Pancakes are my favorite, and Miss Bianca never let me have since I was small. I just wanted to have some. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, I don't feel good. It hurts. Your quivering voice had him freeze on his actions. His ruthless hold suddenly loosened, and he slowly retrieved his sharp, structured face from your neck crook. Once again, his eyes fell on your face. Your eyes unlocked. A mere glance into your swollen, tearing eyes twisted his heart into an unpleasant feeling. He cursed himself, watching you sob heartbreakingly. The tears of sadness falling like a shower from your innocent eyes made him feel like something burned his insides. The incident throb in his heart told him to apologize for being a cruel beast. He did the wrong thing even though he knew what was right. His guilt was paired with shame. Never in his 25 years of existence had he felt the need to apologize to anyone, but you were too pure to be left broken beyond repair. He had wished to ruin your innocence from the moment he laid his eyes on you, yet had enough control to not take you against your will. Yes, women were mere pleasure providers in his eyes, but his record was clear. He hadn't forced himself on any woman before. It had always been mutual. Then why today? Was another question to which he had no answer. Wondering, he was lost in his thoughts. No conclusions was attained. Meantime, the sudden drop in your blood pressure reduced blood flow and oxygen to your brain. There were enough reasons why a drop in blood pressure could occur and lead to temporary loss of consciousness. The stress was one among them, and even after multiple attempts to breathe, you failed. But before your body could completely give up, he hugged you gently, and his words laced with regret were the last you heard. I wish I hadn't done that to my doll.